Hello, welcome back to Chat About It. Don't chat about it with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. I couldn't do this without you. Now, The Acolyte has drawn to a close. And to be quite frank, this badly written, canon destroying piece of fan fiction that cost $180 million to make has not impressed me. Now, please do remember, if you liked The Acolyte, then that's fine. You are allowed to like it. And with my reviews of it, please do go and watch them. I've actually been as fair as I possibly could be with what we have received for The Acolyte. But review wise, in my opinion, for episode 8, it wasn't worth making a 15-minute review of. I found it very predictable. I guessed that Osha would be going to the dark side, so to speak, and bleeding the crystal, and it was hardly a shocking reveal. Now, Sol also died by the Force on his knees in front of a woman because, of course, the Force is now female. And they threw Darth Plagueis in to suggest this is where he gets his ideas of starting a new life from. And of course, Yoda, in order to get the fans whooping and cheering. And to be quite frank, Yoda would have actually known what was going on. And at the end of the day, I think this was one hot mess. It was all over the place. The only interesting bit was the fight between Sol and, is it Quimir? I never get the name right. But that's essentially the only good bit about this entire episode. There's been no confirmation of a season 2 as of yet, but the score has gone up from 14% to 17% for the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and down from 83% to 80% from the critics. It's ranking in at number 6 with 252 million minutes streamed on Flix Patrol. It's not charting at all on the overall scoring for the Nielsen top 10 figures, but the just as diverse House of Dragon is with 1,226,000 minutes streamed. The Acolyte also did not appear on the originals section either, which has gone down from the previous week. And that was that I just read out to you, the week of June 17th to the 23rd. And for the week of July 1st, it didn't chart at all on Samba TV. Samba TV actually get hold of the figures before the Nielsen figures do. So it's always interesting to see how it pans out for the shows. The fans of the shows are worried. There's been a hashtag, Renew the Acolyte, floating around. The question is, should it be renewed for a second season? I don't think so, in my personal opinion. To me, this is just to me, it's a very problematic show, and I have heard others say the same. So I've taken an article from the Direct that explores what hurts the show. Please do go and read the full article for yourself. I've got clips from it here. It is linked below. I always link my sources below so that you can be better informed. Disney Star Wars pressure. The Acolyte's troubled story is likely rooted in Disney's 2019 era decision to focus on high volume of streaming content for its newly unveiled Disney Plus. On the Phase Zero podcast, Marvel Studios' Brad Winderbaum referred to Disney's pressure as a mandate, saying, I mean, frankly, in all honesty, there was a mandate to kind of create as much as we could for Disney Plus as quickly as we could. Thing is, when things like that happen, things get sort of disregarded. While Star Wars fans haven't heard Lucasfilm creatives discuss Disney's directive with the same frankness, comments like Winterbaum's offer a window into what Disney-owned studios were dealing with. Not only was Star Wars having to adapt to a live-action television format, but creatives were having to split their focus and priorities, manpower and resources were being exhausted, and ultimately hurt projects by rushing them into development. As a result, much of Lucasfilm's Star Wars Disney Plus content has partly been victims of circumstance, with The Acolyte likely being the latest. Now, in some respects, I agree, and in some respects, I don't. Now, Star Wars 100% definitely benefits from being on the big screen, but I think it is more to do with the fact that we have Kathleen Kennedy at the helm, who has actually worked on the Star Wars films in the past before it came to Disney, and the writers just writing convoluted plots that don't really adhere to Star Wars lore other than putting lightsabers in it. Questionable flashbacks. While flashback episodes are a common television trope, The Acolyte dedicated 2 whole episodes of an 8-episode series to a flashback of a single event. Yes, it's true that the 2 episodes offer different perspectives, but episode 7 was the show's penultimate episode, and it left audiences more confused than before without pushing the narrative forward or establishing any stakes for the finale. Now, I agree with that statement. Episodes 1, 3, and 7, and I've said it in the past, could have all been consolidated into one story, with the only thing being left out at that stage was how Mama Witch died. Lazy writing and plot holes. Since its debut, The Acolyte has been handicapped by simplistic writing and bafflingly bad decisions that only seem to exist for the sake of the plot. One of the earliest and most glaring, apart from that fire in space, occurred in episode 1 Lost Found, where the Jedi quickly tracked down Osha after Master Indara's murder. Instead of taking her to Coruscant themselves, they placed her on a prisoner transport with a single guard, where a prisoner escape occurs, leading the ship to crash and the Jedi having to find her all over again. The only purpose behind this illogical chain of events is to allow for an action-filled prisoner escape sequence and prove Osha's loyalty. Other issues that hurt the series range from wooden and sometimes cringy dialogue, the introduction of seemingly pivotal events without ever committing to fully explaining them, and a lack of context. Overall, the scripts feel rushed, intentionally vague, and don't seem to respect its audience. It definitely feels like a step down compared to Andor's pockets of fermenting and Luthen Rael's stunning monologue. Yes, I agree with all of that, but in addition to that is not knowing how important structure of the story actually is. Yes, TV shows do have flashbacks, but this show needed a very clear beginning, middle, and end. And by dotting the beginning all over the place, what it did was it jarred and it slowed down the pace of the plot in order to do that. So they should have just put those 3 episodes together, opened it that way, did it from both perspectives, and like I say, just don't reveal who offed Mama Witch. Lack of complex and interesting characters. Another one of the biggest problems that hurt the Acolyte's reception is the lack of compelling characters. While Amandla Stenberg's Osha and May are the series stars, their actions and personalities oscillate between bland or puzzling, leaving a little room for the audiences to relate or root for. In addition, much of the cast is seemingly afterthoughts in terms of character development, defining characteristics, or sufficient time on camera. Daphne Keene's Jackie Lon was a fan favourite, but unfortunately she was offed for the sake of the stakes, and Lee Jong-jae's Master Soul was the show's MVP before his episode 7 baffling backstory actually made the audiences like him less. Will new Star Wars fans even be fans of the Jedi after watching The Acolyte? Probably not. At this point, Quimir, The Acolyte's kinda sorta Sith, this is journalism by the way, kinda sorta, is the most compelling, but that may be more due to his creepy helmet design and Manny Jacinto's performance than anything else. I personally don't agree. Jackie wasn't that interesting. Osha and May were in major need of character development from Amandla, and Sol was actually the most interesting character. Lore inconsistencies. One of the reasons why fans were excited for The Acolyte was its High Republic timeline. This Star Wars era has largely been unexplored on screen, meaning Star Wars could tell a fresh, new story with new characters and without any canon contradictions. But all that changed when the show featured the prequel trilogy Jedi Ki-Adi-Mundi, leading to confusion about his age and why, despite his role in The Acolyte, he claimed in The Phantom Menace that the Sith had been extinct for a millennium. Many fans viewed Ki-Mundi's presence as an example of Leslie Headland and the Acolyte's team lack of understanding and or respect for the Star Wars lore. While opinions vary in terms of whether it breaks canon at all, his inclusion seems unnecessarily sincere. The Acolyte didn't have to rely on canon characters, apart from maybe Master Yoda, to begin with. Didn't even need to rely on Master Yoda. Overall, the Ki-Mundi controversy, coupled with the show's other bold swings and dissonance with other Star Wars stories, only added to fan frustration and hurt the show overall. Yes, Ki-Mundi threw me for a loop. I'm not going to deny that, but my question is still, Anakin who? So there's that article. What do you think of that particular article? Now, of course, it is TikTok Tuesday, so I need to find out what AI George Lucas had to say about all of this.
That looks like a moon alien. Oh, God. A moon alien. Anakin, I think that's Darth Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis the Wise? I pledge my allegiance to you. Please, I can't lose Padme.
Anakin, Padme's already in the Force Heaven. You can visit her at any time.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Anakin, have you heard the tragedy of how they brought back Darth Plagueis the Wise to resurrect this dead franchise?
Where can I learn about this?
Not from me.
Damn it!
Seriously now, was Plagueis in that cave this whole time? And I'm wondering, did he put into motion the creation of these sisters? After all, the mothers did say the Jedi couldn't find out how they were created. What do you think, Anakin?
Wait, sorry. What was the question?
Were you thinking about Padme?
Yes, Master.
All right, let's continue. Oh, sorry, Grogu.
It seems like AI George Lucas wasn't too keen on Darth Plagueis either. Now, there were not many reviews on TikTok about episode 8. In all honesty, I was expecting to have a lot more. Mostly it was recorded live reactions that used a lot of copyrighted content that I was not able to use as the part of the fair use here on YouTube. However, I did actually find one that confirms what I said earlier, and this is from Star Wars Theory. So let's watch what he has to say.
Down is going to rip this goddamn show to pieces. And let's just address real quick the elephant in the room here. Leslie Headland interjecting Darth Plagueis for the first time on screen as some creepy dude just in the shadows, just so that he can observe the children that have been created from the Force, so that he can go on and now this is the reason. This is the proof he needs to create life. This show was a convoluted mess. It was all over the place. It not only broke canon multiple times, it interjected characters that didn't belong. Ki-Mundi wasn't supposed to be born yet, but that's not even the problem. Let's change his birth date. No problem. Let's put him in there. Putting Plagueis in there is the biggest F-up you could do. Not only is he at most going to be like maybe 19 years old or 20 years old, if he's even born, you're going to tell Yoda this, Master, we have to discuss something. Fuck off, you will. Literally. Like, you're the Grand Master Yoda can't sense any of this shit. Do you even understand Star Wars? Really? You don't know Star Wars, please never ever touch Star Wars again.
There you go. That's a wrap on The Acolyte. What do you think? Chat about it, don't shout about it. Leave a comment below. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.